What does Oklahoma need to do on either offense or defense to be able to come up with a win against Missouri? We'll discuss coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available, and we are your team every single day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Jay, what do the Oklahoma Sooners need to do on offense to be able to have some success against the Missouri Tigers?
Run the ball.
Run the ball.
Missouri is, I think they're 12th in the SEC in run defense. They're giving them like 134 yards a game, which traditionally wouldn't sound too bad, but that's like 53rd in the country. And every team they've played basically just ran the ball all over them. That's been the key thing. Now, in order to win the game, you're still going to have to be able to pass the ball because that truly opens the run. But for Oklahoma to win this game, especially with the offensive line shifting again, you got to run it down their throat. We're going to have to go out there and muscle them and get the ball into Taylor Tatum's hand on a regular basis, get the ball into, if X-Rob plays, get Xavier Robinson running it down their throat. Right, if you get some Caleb Hicks playing, run it down their throat with him. Heck, bring him Emeka Megwa. Tell him you're going to get some run too. Run it down their throat with him too. The key thing is getting as many runs as possible downhill and just keep them exhausted. And then you can start chunking some passes deep to your wide receivers. The good thing is with Jalil Farooq back and Dion Burks back, you get some really good blockers to go along with what J.J. Hester's doing. So, yeah, to me, the most important thing is running the ball and time of possession.
Yeah, and I think they'll find some success. The offensive line's gained some confidence, and there just seems to be a better connectivity between Joe John Finley, Bill Bedenbaugh, what the offensive scheme wants to do, what the offensive line is doing. It's just working a little bit better. And even go back to the Ole Miss game, right? Just 1 week with Joe John Finley as the offensive coordinator, and Ole Miss gave up more rushing yards than they had at any point this season. They had only allowed 67 rushing yards per game. Oklahoma ran for more than 100, and Javante Barnes himself ran for 67 yards in that game and averaged 4-point-something yards per carry. So did Taylor Tatum. So Oklahoma can find success on the ground against Missouri, even without Michael Tarkin, even without some of these other guys playing offensive line for him. I think they can still find some success running the football. Got to protect it. You cannot give Missouri any short fields, especially if it's looking like it's going to be Drew Pine at quarterback. Don't give him any confidence of playing on your half of the 50. Punts are an okay thing. And Jackson Arnold's done a good job of protecting the football. I don't think he's had a turnover since he's returned to the starting lineup. Yeah, I can't quite remember if he had one in South Carolina or against Ole Miss. So he's really playing efficient, sound football. And I think that's the way forward. This is a defensive football team, and you have to have your quarterback protecting the ball. And so far, so good. I don't want to jinx it, but keep playing the way that you're playing, Jackson Arnold. You're doing just fine. You're picking up enough yardage. You're playing within the system. No need to get too excited and play outside the system. Just be efficient. Continue to take care of the ball.
That's what's most important. All you got to do is take care of the ball. If you take care of the ball, we'll be fine.
Yep.
And in this game, Missouri gives the ball up a lot. They have a tendency of handing the ball, giving the ball away, especially if Drew Pine ends up playing. So we'll talk about the defensive side in a minute, but mainly on the offensive side, you're going to want to get those cornerbacks working. You're gonna have to throw the ball some, but again, running the ball as much as possible and taking care of it's going to be key. I want to see Jalil Farooq as well as Dion Burks get out on some flats, get out on a couple of deep routes here or there. I want them to stretch it. I would love for the play action to come back. Get some nice, play action, boom, launch it. Give me some 2-back sets. If anything, I just want to muscle them. I just want to out muscle them the entire game. That would make me smile. Kind of like when we did Texas and Red River last year. We just went out there and we just out muscled them. And that would have made me be like, yeah, I like that. I want to see that out of these Sooners. I need the Oklahoma Sooners to go out there and just push them around, John. If we push them around, I'll feel more confident even going into the last few games. We'll get a bye week, thank goodness. So to me, you should probably go all out. You got a bye week coming up. Go all out before said bye week.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be easier said than done. Chris McClellan, Johnny Walker playing good ball. Each have more than 5.5 sack or tackles for loss. Davian Carnell, 5 tackles for loss. It's a pretty good defensive front. So it's going to be a big challenge for Oklahoma's offensive line and Oklahoma's offense in general. Defensively, Jay, what's Oklahoma got to do to win?
I'd say the biggest thing on the defensive side of the ball is you got to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. I don't care who's playing. If it's Brady Cook, I need you to be blitzing like crazy, get some exotic stuff going out there, get him confused, hit him. Hit him enough times, he's coming out the game. I know that ankle ain't the way that he wanted to be, and then he hurt his throwing hand against Alabama, and that's why he came out of that one. I mean, I saw some Missouri fans thinking that they were kept saying they think it's broken. I don't know, but he's dealing with 2 major injuries, so you've got to hit him to get him out the game. We want to see Drew Pine. You put Drew Pine out there, then you need to really confuse him. Make him make the mistakes he did against Alabama. Keep the pressure down their chest. I noticed that Caden Green is still set as probable, so there's a really good chance he's probably going to play in that game. Go push him. Go after him. Go, you know him. You understand his game. Go after him. I would target players that you know completely. And so, especially because their run game is now, without having Nate Noel, there's potential that there's going to be a struggle in the run game. The good thing for us is, John, we're one of the better run defenses in the SEC. So as long as we maintain our run stuff and we force them to have to throw the ball, what I do expect is a lot of Luther Burden, like end arounds or short passes. I know they're going to try to get the ball in his hands. That's going to be critical. Similar to what they did against Texas A&M. They're trying to find ways to get him the ball. Late in the game, they were able to get the ball to Theo Weiss for a deep touchdown. But they're going to try their hardest to get the ball into Luther Burton's hands because he's going to be the one that's probably their saving grace in there. What are you looking at defensively?
I mean, for me, just got to play assignment sound football. If you are in your spot where you're supposed to be, not letting wide receivers run free like we've seen against Ole Miss, like we saw against Maine last week. Yeah. If you're tackling well, you're going to be fine. I'm not concerned about the defense. The defense will slow the run game down. It's just a matter of getting off the field when they get into second and third and long situations. Oklahoma's going to have to win those. You got to win those. You cannot give up third down conversions, especially of the 3rd and 10 plus variety. Right. If you get Missouri into 3rd and 7 plus, you got to win that down and get off the field. Otherwise, I have no issue with what Oklahoma's going to be able to put on the field. Eli Bowen, you got to have a good game. This is going to be a big time matchup. Whether you're covering Theo Weiss or Luther Burden, you're going to be challenged. Ooh. And then whoever's lining up on the opposite side, probably Kenai Walker, you're going to be challenged. You've got to play sound football, and the safeties on the back end, they've got to take care of their responsibilities. You cannot let either of these guys run free and run by the cornerbacks without any safety help. I know Oklahoma's going to want to be aggressive, but don't let these guys sit in zero coverage and expect that they're just going to be able to hold up all day long against Burden and Weiss. Listen, Weiss may not be the best receiver in college football, but we've seen how productive he can be. Go back to the Texas Tech game, 2022, I believe. Yeah. Dude blew up. He was fantastic in that one. Or it might have been, it was 2022 because he was out 2021.
Yeah. He was out 21 and 23. He was at Missouri. So, yes.
So don't sleep on either of these guys, regardless of who's playing quarterback. Just be assignment sound. You'll be fine. No concerns for Oklahoma's defense. It's going to be a really good game. We're going to give you our final keys to the game and our prediction for this week coming up here on Locked On Sooners. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality candidates that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't hire anywhere else. Even those who aren't actively searching for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Over 2.5 million small businesses use LinkedIn for hiring. So go post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
If you like premium collegiate vintage gear, you got to check out Home Field Apparel. They be hooking up everybody. Based out of Indianapolis, they have some of the best gear, and they're hooking you up for this season. And so they've got their football boxes for your favorite team. I mean, I got my Sooner one here. As you can see, we're talking a Big 8 matchup, so I had to rock it. And inside of that, you'll get 3 never-before-seen items for your school that's not available anywhere else. They're curating all this gear all season long. It's starting to get cold, so you got to grab your hoodies as well. If you get the Platinum box, you'll also get a hat as well as a koozie, a VIP koozie, and you'll get 20% off in early access on all their new drops. So you won't miss out on anything sold out. So make sure you check that out. The material's fantastic. It feels great. Go to homefieldapparel.com and use our promo code Sooner24, and you'll get yourself a beautiful discount of 15% off that first purchase. So go check them out. Home Field Apparel. Use promo code Sooner24 to get 15% off your first purchase with our code. So, hey, get geared up with Home Field Apparel.